Hello everyone, welcome to Food Tech Talk with Mrs. K on Enterprise TV. We've been talking about health and safety among SMEs in the food industry. Today we are going to be talking about unsafe acts and unsafe conditions. When we're talking about safety, they will go hand in hand most times. Unsafe acts and unsafe conditions. These are people's way of life around the workplace. What's an unsafe act? These are human behaviors or decisions that increase the risk of accidents or harm in the workplace. They are usually voluntary actions. Most times, especially in my dear country, Nigeria, many SMEs are not paying attention to safety. So you see us having a culture of ignoring safety warnings, having a culture of ignoring safety rules, basic safety rules that we know. You are producing, there's water on the floor, and it's ignored. In the workplace, there are no signs or labels on the walls to tell people where this is and what that are, where things are kept are not labeled. The entire workplace is left to your intuition. These are unsafe conditions. So unsafe acts are the behaviors that human beings behave in the workplace that could potentially lead to accidents, that can potentially increase the risk of injury in the workplace. Whereby unsafe conditions are hazardous or physical environmental situations. These are situations in the workplace that can lead to accidents or injuries. They are usually tied up to the system. It's connected with management. It has to do with management. So unsafe conditions are work conditions that are not safe. Unsafe acts are human behaviors that are not safe. I'll give you a few examples. For instance, in the food industry, most times, when I'm talking on this space, I'm always talking about the SMEs. I'm not talking about the conglomerates. I'm always talking about the SMEs because these are area of people I'm really, really interested in helping out. Because the big corporations, they were definitely going to have a safety officer working within the production space. So most of these things are going to be attended to. But most times in the SMEs, it's only one person that is working with 2 help, 3 help, most times maybe less than 10 help. And out of all these help, nobody is handling safety. Nobody is talking about safety. And that's why I'm bringing it up for you to pay attention to your safety, because your health matters. The health of your team members also matter a lot. And safe acts, behaviors that lead to danger. You see people carrying load that is higher than their weight. You see people running barefooted on floors that are heated up, on floors that are slippery. Most times, even people with this behavior, when cautioned, they come down with excuses like, I've been doing this for years. I've been doing that for years. Doesn't really matter. Disease no dey kill black man. There's a lot of comments we bring up to excuse or downplay the risk that we are exposing ourselves to because of our behavior. Talk about unsafe conditions. You will notice that people are working with equipment that are dull, equipment that do not meet specifications, that do not meet safety specifications. We're working with a grinding machine that is exposed, and your fabric can be hooked on it. Anything can happen. Wall sockets are exposed, wires trailing out on floors that can potentially have water. These are conditions in the workspace that can expose the workers to danger. When we're talking about these conditions or these behaviors in the workplace, most SMEs, because they have limited funding, do not really pay attention to this. But I will tell you that it actually matters a whole lot for you, for your business. There are several implications you may have. You may see an equipment is shocking, it's an unsafe condition, you leave it like that, and it keeps shocking. And everybody in the workplace knows that it is shock, and nobody is getting it fixed. One day, somebody with underlying health conditions is going to pass through that equipment and get electrocuted, and it becomes a legal problem. It becomes a more serious problem. It becomes a crime. Your workplace becomes a crime scene. Now, how are you going to handle that? There are so many warning signs. So as you are listening to me right now, an SME food producer, you are working in a small producing space, you're working from home, wherever factory you are working in, I want you to go back and take account of your workspace. How safe is your workspace? Because it's also going to lead to product contamination. There are people that you have moving equipment, moving machines that are exposed or rusted. These are unsafe conditions. It's not just about the health of the workers. How about contamination of the food products you are producing? If you continue having contaminated food products and probably your customers are not complaining, one of these days NAFDAC is going to do a spot check in a supermarket where your product is listed and boom, you're in trouble. So you are also going to have regulatory challenges if you are just about getting NAFDAC certified or SONA certified, or you want to renew a certification, and they come into your workplace and notice all these unsafe conditions. You will not be certified. You're going to run into challenges with them. Also, you're going to have low staff morale. How do you feel, even you, if you're working in an environment and you know that your life is at risk? You're working in a place where everything is shocking. You're working in a place where you keep falling, your hand keeps cutting, things keep happening to you. It means that pretty much soon, all your employees are going to become job applicants. Yes, it happens to people. Everybody working with you is looking for job. Continuity of your business is actually questionable. It's also going to affect your reputation. It's going to affect your reputation when people know that even customers walk into your place and they keep getting wounded. Your place is not a safe place. On today's episode, where we're talking about unsafe acts and unsafe conditions, how can you manage this as an entrepreneur? It's knowledge transfer. You yourself is going to train yourself because you are the primary person that will drive this culture. It's a cultural problem. You are the person that is going to drive this culture. And when your team members notice that, oh, you have safety at hand, they are going to learn to work in a safe place, to work safely. It's not really so much. My organization, FDI Hub, will offer food safety trainings to team members of different organizations. So you can sign up with us, you can get in touch with us and sign up for training for your staff because we know we're working with SMEs, we do not charge the way we charge if we are working with the bigger organizations. So for SMEs, we have package for SMEs that are pocket friendly. Make sure that your staff are trained. Ensure also that you, the employer, you, the owner of the workspace, is trained. And training does not just happen as a session where you gather people and talk to them. For organizational health and safety, it is a culture that you build over time. And people now know that, oh, we don't do this over here. So when your workers know, and you yourself understand the importance of this, and you know that, oh, we don't behave this way in this place. The unsafe acts are not acceptable. Unsafe conditions are not acceptable. You now notice that if an equipment is getting bad, somebody reports it. There's a line of reporting for it. There's a line for fixing it. It is budgeted. These are the culture that you will begin to imbibe after you undergo food safety training, understanding that unsafe acts, unsafe behaviors, unsafe conditions is a no-no for you and your business. I hope you have learned something new from today's episode of Food Tech Talk with Mrs. K. I'm glad you joined us today for this educational session. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe immediately and click on the notification button to ensure that you get notified each time we have a new video. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Food Tech Talk with Mrs. K on Center-ECD Enterprise TV. I hope you join us for the next session, still on occupational health and safety. Thank you very much. Bye.